relationship between Indonesia and Sri Lanka?
So the relationship goes back thousands of years into the mist of time, because as neighbors we have traded together, we have visited each other over centuries. In fact, Sri Lanka and Indonesia were connected on the ancient spice routes, and we had people traveling between the two countries through time immemorial. In the post-independence era, Sri Lanka and Indonesia worked closely together as two of the five Asian powers, which worked together towards the memorable Bandung Conference in 1955, which subsequently led to non-aligned movement, which of course was a very important moment for the countries of the global south that were newly independent. We have had a multifaceted relationship over many years, which includes economic, defense, fisheries, education, cultural cooperation, amongst others. And the relationship was elevated as a result of an exchange of state visits in 2017 and 2018. In 2018, President Widodo came to Sri Lanka, and that really has energized the business-to-business relationship, particularly between the two countries. So the embassy is working very closely to ensure that the business communities of the two countries are better connected, and we would like to diversify the trade basket between our two countries, because of course there are so many attractive products that both our countries make, and really the trade is way below potential in this relationship, and a lot more work can be done to improve this relationship for mutual benefit of the two countries.
Question you asked, Nancy, my final question. What do you miss the most about Sri Lanka?
Well, put it this way, this country has so many similarities to Sri Lanka. It's very difficult to feel homesick here. We both share the same lovely tropical climate, and the scenery when you go out of Jakarta is a lot like Sri Lanka. You know, we have the sea, and you have the paddy fields and the coconut trees. So even the food is very similar. We have a similar spice palette, you know, somewhat chili hot food with a lot of spices in it. So there's not too many things to miss when you live in Indonesia, but of course wherever you go you always miss your family and your friends. I think that.
Excellency, if I want to travel to Sri Lanka, what are your top 3 recommendations for us to go to Sri Lanka?
So I think one thing, of course, you have to do is go and enjoy some typical Sri Lankan food. Sri Lankan food has become very popular now around the world, and I think the number one favorite for anybody who knows Sri Lankan food is the hopper. That's my personal favorite. It's like a pancake. We eat it with some sambal and some curry. A lot of people love Sri Lankan crab. This is also a thing that people would always look out for when they go to Sri Lanka in terms of food, fresh seafood. We have lovely crab and lobster, prawns, fresh seafood, because of course we're an island, we're surrounded by the sea. So number one, the food. Number two, do some shopping. We have lovely places to shop in all over Sri Lanka. You might like to try some Sri Lankan batik, for instance. We have our own batik, which is of course based on Indonesian batik, because the Dutch officials took batik from Indonesia around Asia, so many Asian countries have unique batik. Sri Lankan batik has its own motifs. We have more of the flora and fauna motifs. So some Sri Lankan batik is something nice to look for, and we have lovely handloom products. Our handloom is very brightly colored, and a lot of people like it. A lot of people would take home a souvenir of some tableware or an item of clothing in Sri Lankan handloom. If your budget stretches that far, maybe a gems and jewelry item. just a little pendant or some souvenir that you've gone to Sri Lanka and purchased one of the 150 gemstones we have in Sri Lanka. And I would say maybe some Ayurvedic products. Sri Lanka is very well known now for its spa products, and we have some leading brands that do lovely spa products. And I'm sure that that would be something nice to take home as a souvenir. Number three, so I've said the food, I've said the shopping. I think it has to be the wildlife. I'm a great fan of wildlife safaris. That's something I really like to do when I'm in Sri Lanka. It's a wonderful experience to go to a wildlife park and see the animals in their own habitat. And if you're lucky, you could see a leopard, which is such a beautiful animal. You're almost guaranteed to see elephants, which again is one of my favorites. I love the elephant, particularly if you see them in family groups. It's really wonderful to watch the little baby elephants play with the adults, and with the little elephants play with each other, and that's something really nice. You might be able to see a bear if you get lucky. Tons of peacocks and of course deer. So that's something I would really recommend.
Okay. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you for spending your time with us, having tea with us.
Thank you.
And I hope that you have a great time, as I am. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us at See You in Sri Lanka, your friendly neighbor. See you in the next episode. Bye.